I'm not sure what little birds these are. Sparrows, I would imagine. No, he hasn't heard the story.
I heard the punchline part.
You did? I'm done with it. No, sorry. But oh God! And he had Mary and I out in the yard. Robert, my 48-year-old male cousin that looks like Paul, and Mary and I, and we were looking out the back property. And Mary and I just kept looking at each other like this because he'd walk in front of us and we'd see this huge Virgin River gorge in front of us. I mean, it was big enough you could have tunneled a driveway through it. And he'd, dang! Yeah, and every 2 seconds he'd go, whack! And this black dip would just go flying. Well, which was pretty easy for him because he only had 3 teeth that went this way.
So it directed it the right direction.
And it was all spittle all over his chin and stuff.
Oh, that is the perfect hillbilly.
But I was so interested in what he was saying because he was pointing at his going, well, this is where the old apple used to be. And I went, gosh, I guess this is going to be the best growing place on the property, huh? And he goes, yeah, maybe. He didn't get my humor, you know. And then he took us over someplace else, and I started sinking in mud about this beach, and I was like, uh-oh. And he goes, yeah, I just took out the hog sty that was here.
I knew he was going to say that. You knew the pigs were there.
And then he grabs this tree and he goes, you ever seen a mulberry? And I went, well, no, in fact, I haven't. He goes, well, grab yourself a couple of those things and just put it between your teeth and peel like a piece of corn. And, well, okay. So I reached up and I was grabbing them, pulling them like a piece of corn. These are good. And he's just standing there grinning. Yep, they're my mulberries over there.
He didn't say they were poisonous or anything after that.
No, he didn't say he looked for little bugs in there.
Oh, I was looking at the bugs and I was picking them off myself. They were covered with little green bugs.
Mother.
But the great thing about it is I didn't tell him, Carrier Mary.
Mother. Mother. Ask Mary to go over
Oh,
there.
you! I knew you'd be in trouble on this trip. I just sensed it.
Quiet. Okay, so anyway, we're walking around all this property, and he's showing us this. It's my great-grandmother Eliza McKinney-Getter's home, okay? I'm looking at logs that are like 200-year-old southern white oak. They were hand-formed. This house, like the back foundation,
I have not put the phone down.
the bottom came out and the top went in. It was just like, I don't know how the thing was literally standing. And he's explaining all of these construction procedures to Bob. Bob doesn't know a damn thing about construction, but I'm like looking at this guy in the eye, trying to catch his eye. I want him to talk to me about the construction. I'm so interested. No, he starts talking about one technical thing, and he turns and talks to Bob because he's the man.
That's right.
Bob's the man.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, okay, this is just swell. So we walk around the front of the house, and after about an hour and a half of looking through the house and up in the attic and looking at everything, we're standing out front, and I just can't stand it anymore. Okay, I just can't stand it. So I walked up to him and I said, you know, my father's a construction guy, and he's been involved in construction his whole life. And I follow him around like a dog, and he's taught me everything I know, and I've done a whole lot of work on my own home. You know, I really understand what you've been doing here. And he kind of backs off from me, you know, a little bit. And he's looking at me like this, and he goes, your husband don't do this for you?
Your husband?
Your husband? Your husband don't do this for you? And I went, I don't have a husband. Well, he backs off even further, and he stares at me for a minute. He stares at me for a minute, and he goes, what's wrong with those boys up there in Oregon? I said, well, you know, it's my choice, you know, there's just no husband. And so I stuck my hand up to shake his hand, and I said, gosh, thanks for your hospitality, you know, it's really been great, I think you're doing an incredible job with this home, you know, good luck. And I was shaking his hand, you know, and I guess I was shaking it a little bit too firmly, and he looked right at me in the eye, and he goes, you sure you ain't lying?
Did you go like this?
No.
Way back a little?
I was shaking this guy's hand. He looks at me, and I mean, these 3 teeth going this way, spittle, this big gut, and he goes, you sure you ain't lying? And I just backed off, and I went, do I look like a man? And then he pauses, and he looks me up and down, elevator eyes, and he goes, no, ma'am.
Now, tell me something. Where did it come up with that? Do they get National Enquirer there?
I don't.
I want you to check and see next time.
What about sending him mail from the construction working with kids?
Oh yeah, and then my little second cousin Robert's son, we're riding home in the car, and he goes, you know, Dot, if I were you, I'd send this boy a letter and sign it. Love, the construction worker with tits from Oregon.
Do it.
Kid's 17 years old. You know, Dot, well, I think we're all just roaring.
This is Turkey. That's a turkey guy. Turkey guy.
Oh,
Turkey kid.
well, see, at the beginning.
Oh, these kids fell in love with him. I tell you, this good boy.
At the beginning of the whole experience with this man, I literally was looking at his mouth trying to understand what he was saying because I didn't understand his dialect.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I didn't. It was like
I know what part of Georgia.
it was like I was an alien in a strange world or something. So I kept looking at Robert to translate, and he would. But here, I'm getting a translation from a deep backwoods Kentucky boy that was grown and raised in Alabama that's trying to translate for this Georgia boy. And it was just like, well, okay, I think they're talking about the inside wall. Okay, well, let's see, I think they're talking about the propane tank.
Oh, you guys.
I think there may have been a side porch on this place that they took off and replaced on the burnt down tar barn.
Oh,
God.
we got to taste mulberries.
I heard.
Mulberry juice.
Well, we went down to the basement because another owner that had it put in a basement, you know, narrow at one end and wider at the other end. The house has never been, you know, level or anything.
Oh, it's so untrue. You told me once,
It's
now,
some
Dottie,
shells in it.
a house is never plumb. A house is never square. Well, I've always believed you and gone with that. But this house is like 2.5 feet off square.
You stand on the top of the stairwell, and if you stand straight, you're falling forward because the stairwell's falling forward.